Naturally, I believe girls are different.
There's a
Nerves to
certain
always
je
have
ne
a
sais
detail.
quoi.
Yes, that one, that one.
This is Mike for Her, a space tailored for the Rwandan woman and the girl child. We are excited to be officially kicking off the Her in a Million campaign, getting into the incredible stories of women that have broken down the door in a tech space. For the Rwandan girl child, for the Rwandan woman, this is a space I want you to lock into because we're going to be getting into some incredible stories and breaking down some of the stigma and stereotypes around women in STEM. You want to stick around for this. And I would also like to send a deep, deep, deep appreciation to the Ministry of ICT, ILO, and 63 for making this happen and ensuring that the Rwandan girl child is encouraged enough to enter the STEM space. Now, to kick us off, I have a special guest in here with me. She goes by the name of Isimbi Rugema Paradis. She's a product designer at Irembo, a fintech innovator, and a fierce UX advocate. Don't be scared about the terms. We'll make sure that you're comfortable with them. But she's here to show us what it looks like when women aren't just part of the tech world, but they're leading it. They're leading with innovation, they're leading with creativity, and most of all, showing that any woman can do it. So we're going to be getting into your story. Paradis, it is a great pleasure to have you here on Mike for Her.
Thank you for having me. It also, it's a great pleasure to also be on such a space.
Listen, we're here to talk about your journey. Because, you know, we have to take it back to the beginning. Growing up, our African parents, they tell us, doctors, lawyers, engineers. Tell me, did you ever imagine yourself in the tech space?
Yes and no.
Let's start with a no. Why no?
So let me give like a context. When I was growing up, I was that kid who always fixes the TV, you know,
Oh,
who fixes the phones when they're not working as expected or things like that. It was always seen as tech. I don't
you know,
know if it
yeah,
was tech,
if
but
you
it
can
was
fix
seen
the
as tech.
TV, you know the passwords, a woman in tech.
Yeah. So basically it was that. And I think it brought me close to tech, but I was not really into coding. I was more like a creative person, drawing, doing videos, things like that. I even tried them growing up, by
Is
the way.
it?
Photography, everything. I tried everything before
We need to
really
tap
settling
into that
down.
portfolio.
So by then, it felt like I was navigating two worlds, not really fitting into it because tech was
One thing,
Yes.
then the creative is another
was
thing.
another thing. So I didn't really see it connecting. That's how I didn't see myself in tech.
And
But I
then we
still
move to
followed
the
it
yes.
up. Yes.
So
I
what
still followed it up.
moment sparked that want to be in the tech space?
I've always went for problem solving. So if you put a challenge in front of me, I'll go for it. Whether I know I'll pass it or not, but I'll go for it.
It's a matter of trying.
So I tried. I did computer science in uni, really pursued that. I used to write codes.
Listen,
But
shout
still,
out to you.
it
It took me
wasn't-
2 semesters and I was out the door. So I gotta give the credit where it's credit's due. So you did computer science.
Yes, but it wasn't as fulfilling as I wanted it to be. So I still went ahead and did the videography thing and all of that, you know, in my other time. And then during the journey, I really found out about product design, and it was a spark.
It was the sweet spot. You're
It
like
was
the
sweet spot.
creative,
I'm
the
like,
tech.
I'm there. This
We're
time
here.
I'm there. And I think by then we only had like 2-3 product designers in the country. I
Yes.
mean, I knew them by, you know, I could count them.
You knew there was a
Then-
need for it.
Yes, but by then I didn't see it making money, by the way. I didn't see how someone would just call you, just, you know, make good things, make them work and all of that. I mean, systems have existed before me, so what do you
Exactly.
mean I'm going to do this? But I still went for it because it was good.
It was good. And you know, a
I
lot of
enjoyed
people,
it.
when they think of tech, they think of coding. They think of people in a room somewhere just cracking numbers all day long. Now, we said that you are a fierce UX advocate. Now, we're talking to some people that may not know these terminologies. In terms of this advocacy, let's first start. What is UX?
By the terms, it's user experience.
Wow.
Have you ever used the system and it just felt wrong?
It felt like it was not designed, like,
or
who
you are
made
just
this?
tired using it. You are not supposed to feel that way.
Uh-huh.
And that's where the
So you're
UX
the
comes
people
in.
who make sure that when I use something, there's ease in using it.
When you use a fun app, it has to feel fun. When you use a texting message, you just want to text. You want to spend a lot of
You don't want to go and start. So you're part of the people that ensure that the user experience is friendly.
Yes.
Now you're also in a space where you're working with other people, young people at Irembo, who are very passionate about this space. What moment made you feel proud of entering such a space? Because you found the sweet spot of blending the creative and the tech. How did it feel entering such a space?
So I've always said it. There's a moment where you see someone using a product that you've created. It hits different. Trust me.
Oh.
I was traveling and I was at the airport and I really saw someone using it. And knowing they didn't even know I was there, but I had to realize it. So there's something about solving problems or creating things that for a community that you're part of. It always feels personal. So when that happens, either way, you're like, this person doesn't even know that I existed, but they just completed something because I've existed.
You see? And this just goes to show, when you think about ladies not being in the tech space, all of you who are using Irembo, this is one of the faces behind a product that you use, whether you're getting a license, whether you want a certificate of being a single, whatever it is, which is incredible. Right? Now, let's talk about the bigger picture, right? We know we are blessed to live and privileged enough to live in a country where the woman is celebrated. We see women in leadership. Our very own Minister of ICT is a woman. But that doesn't negate the fact that there's still a lot of cultural nuances and, stereotypes behind women entering this industry. Not even if it's within our generation, even the younger generation, I think it's something that we're still fighting. So do you believe that it is important for the Rwandan girl child to be at the center of a digital future?
100%.
Why do you feel it's important? Because me, if I start talking about it, we can talk until tomorrow.
Naturally, I believe girls are different. They bring something different to the table. And if we are building systems that everyone has to use, we have to be there because you have to build for everyone, not just
exactly, not just yourself.
Now, in tech, there's something about humanizing the systems that you're building. I believe girls have that empathy more than boys. Way far. They have that empathy. They have that little nerd to always have a detail. Yes, that one. So there's that intake is really gold because if you're building systems that no one will use, there's no purpose building them.
And when people think of techies, there's a lot of them who are far removed from the society.
100%.
But a woman, a girl, you have the pressure of the family. You have the pressure of building your own family, once you leave your own home, your parents' home. And then also the pressure that comes with being a woman. You have to be a wife, a sister, and all these things. And because we play all these different roles, I think I agree with you when you say that there's a certain edge. Now, gentlemen, I'm not saying you can't do the job well. You have done the job well. But there's a certain edge that women bring because I feel like we think outside of just ourselves, And this goes back to even the quotes of when you educate a boy, you can educate an individual. But when you educate a girl, you're educating a whole... Exactly. Yeah. Now, being a woman in tech comes with its challenges. I don't doubt it. And I know in our society, mukobwa, gomba kuba kora ibi n'ibi. There's a lot of those. How do you overcome those challenges? What keeps you grounded in your work enough that you say, I know what these people think. I know these are the challenges ahead of me. But what keeps you going?
I'll say... First, I was fortunate enough to grow in a family that believed in me, that really pushed me to the best. Shout out to them. But I've also had the privilege to work with people who see me and empower me, most especially. But I recognize that was always not the case. Sometimes you go in meetings and people expect that you are just coming to take notes.
Exactly.
Only to find out that you are leading
the meeting. And I imagine you, especially as a young woman, they look at you, they're like, exactly. So when you walk into those rooms, how do you change that space? Because, to the average person, it can be very demoralizing. Because I can imagine walking into a room, I'm actually the leader of the team. There's no one who understands the product better than me. But then you walk in and you're met with the attitude of someone, oh, you know, Wenda, she's an assistant. No, I know the product. How do you navigate those situations?
I think when it started, it was really challenging. But then I've come to gamify it. So I'm always looking forward to their faces when they found out that
it's an aha moment. It's satisfying.
It has always been fueling, and I've always seen it as if it's not me, it will be nobody else.
Exactly.
So I have to pull myself out of there. So it was always I gamified it basically, and naturally I'm a person who doesn't like to be confrontational. So at some point,
you seem like a very laid back.
Yeah. So at some point I just entered meetings and went out. I mean, I still have the job. I still do what.
I'm saying, listen, I still know the product. So,
but then in the end, I found out that it's not really building anything. So I ended up, confronting and just taking up the space as I should, convincing people of what I'm capable of, besides what they see, besides what they think.
Besides what they think
it's really
and see.
Daring, honestly.
Now, there's a lot of people who feel like tech is too hard. Or it's too much. I'm one of those people. I told you 2 semesters into computer science, I was out the door. Now, for the people who feel, or more so the young women who feel that it's too much or it's not for them, sometimes it's because of what society is telling them, but sometimes it's also because you're not seeing yourself represented.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who's interested in design, in tech, but feels some sort of intimidation, if we can call it that?
You see how, I was about to say it, you see how on TV when they speak of IT, it's you are wearing a black hoodie in a room that doesn't have light.
Yeah.
And those things. It's not always that way. Tech is also fun. Tech is creative. It can also be emotional. That's where the secret lies.
Let's touch on that a little bit.
In it being emotional. So all the careers in tech do not lie in writing code. I haven't written a code in 5 years.
See?
But I still excel in what I do. So it's really daring. I'll just say it's really daring.
It's daring.
Yes.
And what would you say is a good place to start? Because you said you were the family techie, fixing remotes and whatnot. And then you found your sweet spot with product design, which is blending your creative aspect and the tech. Now, you had those little ideas in your mind. But for someone who looks at tech, because it's so vast, what would you say is a good place to start? Where can someone, a young lady, start her research? Like, we're talking about basic foundational 101. What's a good place to start?
Now we have AI. Just pull up your chat GPT and say, look, is it really hard? I'm interested in, and there's something good about knowing yourself first. Because that's where lies the sweet spot.
Talk about
You need to first know yourself, and there's always something around tech that fits you. And
that is true.
Just go ahead. We also started confused.
So you have to explore.
The first time I did that, I was really confused.
So a good place to start is exploration.
Yes.
So explore, do as much as you can, research as much as you can.
100%.
Yes.
Heavy on the do.
Heavy on the do.
Yes. Do as much as you can.
It's because, there's a lot of people who might think, okay, let me do the research. But they stay in the research phase.
Yes.
And the research phase can be so comfortable.
It's important to do.
But you have to do and research.
Yes.
Try and fail.
Yes. And I also believe you learn a lot by doing than researching. So I agree with the research at the first phase. But I also emphasize a lot on the do. Because that's how you learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, as we talk about starting, right, there's a lot of young women who may not be even, you said that something very important to someone growing as well is having people that encourage you. And let me ask you, has mentorship played a role in the work that you do now? Because I don't think there's enough young people that tap into, the people around you, the network around you, the people who have been seasoned in the industry such that they can guide you. What did that space look like for you? Did you have people that guided you through the process? They're like, Paradis, maybe not this way, try this way.
I'll say I started on my own because, as I said, we really had few of them, and they were also just starting out. And they were figuring out how to really do it right. And I took the chance. I was like, if this makes sense, it will probably make sense later. But then again, as I said, I was fortunate enough to work with people who push me. Even people who don't know what I do or fully grasp what it is, they always push you to the why. Why did you start?
Why is this way?
Yes, why?
And that why is such an important question, because I feel like that also makes you understand your product even better.
100%.
Being asked why.
Yes. And in this, it's always about being selfless. So the more you understand people, the more you get to do your job better. Even if they're just saying whatever they're saying.
Absolutely.
We usually have sessions of sitting and looking at someone do what they do. Just so you feel empathetic.
So you just
sit
and watch.
Yes.
Observe.
For example, if I'm doing a system for you, I'll just watch you in your element. And then
just to understand.
Yes, I'll know why you picked a paper, why you chose a paper when you have a laptop next to you. These are things that you realize and really tap into it. So mentorship wasn't, we really didn't have a lot of people. But as I grew in my career, I really found people who knew what they were doing. Even my current boss that I will not mention, just so I don't pull things, he really pushes me. Is that someone who you sit with and you feel empowered? You feel like you don't know anything, but in a good way. Because
and you know what? There's so much power in not knowing as well. 100%. Because when you're in a state of not knowing, it's a perfect opportunity to learn.
But you have to be in a state where you know that not knowing is good.
Exactly.
Because sometimes
which goes back to your point of knowing yourself.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, I want to get into some of the myths. Let's debunk some myths. What's one common misconception about tech careers that you wish more girls understood is not true? Me, I'll start. They're not always in a basement somewhere, in a dungeon.
I was about to say.
Lights are dim. Everyone is on a laptop. No one is talking. That is my one misconception.
I was about to say it. And I think that's why most like grown people, that's their image into you. And when you say you're in tech, they imagine you that way. But as I said, tech can be fun. Honestly, things we do, I'll invite some of the people maybe to come and see. But things we do are fun.
And you're basically showing that tech is more than just screens and codes.
It's more
programming.
Yes.
How does creativity show up in your work as a designer?
Anything is creative for me.
Anything is creative for you.
My job is really solving issues.
You're a problem solver by nature and by profession.
Yes. How you solve them is up to you.
I love that.
If you feel like you need to move things, move them. If the goal is to make people excited, and you feel like you will move things to make them, move them.
I love that.
If you feel like it's to make them simple, make them simple.
And to create change, you have to move.
Yes.
And I can see that there's a lot of passion for you in terms of working with people, creating solutions for people. What's one thing you've learned about the way Rwandan users use different systems? What have you learned about us, the consumers, and how does that affect your work, or how does that change your approach towards your work?
The good thing about my work is there's no generalizing. You think for people, but there's no generalizing. What you think is very different from what a person in Gatsibo thinks or how
exactly.
One of the things that were really interesting, especially with Irembo, is a lot of people get to use your systems, whether you want it or not. Whoever went to primary school, whoever did uni, masters and everything.
Everybody.
Yes. And we had quite a big number of users who are using platforms for the first time.
Wow.
And at some point, maybe for some of our products, we had to learn why do people stick to TikTok?
Okay.
And why is
it resonating?
Why does my mother doesn't call me when she's about to send a WhatsApp text? Because she can do it herself. And then you learn to find people where they are.
I like that.
So it's not, you can't really generalize it, say you have learned something.
So Rwandan users are teaching you basically find someone where they are. Yes. And it's true. I mean, the person in Kigali, the person in Gikongoro, it's going to be a different experience all around. 100%. Now, I've loved hearing about your passion for creating solutions. And I love hearing how, even hearing your story, I can just see a young woman somewhere and she's like, wait, she's young, she's about my age, she's out here working at Irembo. You all are out here, some using some of the products she has designed. It is an encouraging journey. But as we wrap it up, I want you to send a message to the Rwandan girl child who's dreaming of building something big, either the next biggest application, software, but doesn't know where to start, or just simply doesn't feel as encouraged or as seen, as empowered? What is it you want to leave with her?
Daring. Just start small.
Just
Start confused. We all started there. Start confused. Start go in the unknown, basically, but just move that inch, do it, and then in the journey you'll find that it's actually pretty interesting. But start. Yes, dare. Open doors that you didn't know you could even knock.
Wow.
Just open and go. Do it.
Listen, Paradis, I don't even know what to say. You're incredible. First and foremost, I have to give you your flowers before we wrap this up. Thank you for taking the time, number one, to talk about your journey, but more so being a woman that is also creating space for other young women to come after you. I think it's incredibly empowering that we share these stories. It's one thing to know that your country, your government has made space for you, but it's another thing to see women taking up that space and hearing of their journeys. So thank you so much for creating the space. Thank you for breaking down barriers here and there. You know, I can't imagine it's been easy being a young woman entering certain boardrooms, but I'm sure you're going to continue doing so, and doing so amazingly and gracefully. Now, we're doing Her in a Million campaign. Her in a Million is strictly ensuring that young Rwandan women are encouraged and they have a platform where they can come to and essentially hear the stories of women who are breaking different stereotypes and bounds. But I want to know, you said going back to when you were younger that you didn't have that many people to go to. Now imagine if Her in a Million would have happened in your time. What do you feel that difference would have been like for your career?
I would be at Silicon Valley right now.
That's what I love to hear.
No, but jokes aside, I think such spaces are very important, especially like removing those barriers that people feel even without having to talk to anyone. So I feel like these spaces are very important, and I encourage really girls to, utilize these spaces that are given to them, utilize a country that is investing in them, basically, because I feel like we are given, even though there are still stigmas, but we are given the push
100%.
to just go ahead and start. And yeah, such spaces are things that show that we are really cared of, so we could just...
We're curious and we're ready also to shake up the space. Now, listen, we could have been in Silicon Valley, but we're still here in Kigali shaking tables. I mean, you're in Irembo creating designs and products that are needed by every Rwandan, because I'm pretty sure every Rwandan at some point in their life, they're going to use Irembo or they're going to need it. Now, there's going to be a generation of young women who are also coming up to, create their own thing, and having Her in a Million basically showcases that there's a million solutions out there. They're just waiting to be empowered. So to the young lady who's tuning in right now to Her in a Million and says, I want to tap in, what message do you have for her? And especially focus on, we have a good group of young women that are graduating high school, going into uni. There's those who are sitting down for their exams and on the edge of figuring out where I need to go with my career, what I need to do. What message do you have for them, especially in terms of tapping into such platforms and resources?
I would really tell them that it's doable. That's the very first constraint that you have to remove. It's doable, and I feel like it gets easier because, as you said, when we started, we didn't have all of these things, but we still figured it out. So being it doable and having people that support you is, I feel like it's key. And I'll tell them to utilize the moment, really.
And another thing I want to add, ask questions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is going to be on all social media platforms, 100%. Right? That's a perfect opportunity. Even if you see they've tagged Paradis, tag her in the comments, Paradis, how did you do A, B, C, D? I think we also have to be bold enough to connect with one another, because especially for women, I mean, we understand the power of community. Her in a million women, and no one understands better than a woman what these stigmas feel like. So I think we also have to build this culture of empowering one another among women. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Paradis. I'm going to put you on the spot, yeah?
Okay.
You know, this is Her in a Million. We're all about empowering young women. I'm going to put you on the spot. If someone reaches out for you to mentor them, are you ready to take it on?
I am. Just
There
have
you
to
go. You
that-
see, guys, I've opened the door for you. I have opened the door for you. That means, like Paradis said, you have to do what? You have to move.
Yes.
She's ready to take on someone to mentor so that you can better understand the field,
Yes.
right? And that is what Her in a Million is.
As long as you're ready to be fearless.
A, there's terms and conditions.
Yes.
Be fearless. Be comfortable with not knowing.
Yes.
And I'm telling you this because I know these are her prerequisites. Be comfortable with not knowing, which also means you're ready to learn.
Yes.
Last but not least, dare. Dare, 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 and dare.
Yes.
Now, if you had to put into one word what you hope the future of young Rwandan women in tech looks like, what would you say? As in, we're 10 years down the line, Her in a Million has become Her in a Billion. Now we've raised a huge generation. What is that word? What does that future look like to you?
I want to use a common term. Bright.
Bright.
I want it to be bright because you see, breaking those stigmas that tech is, in the dark rooms and all of that. I want the ladies to be the light. That one.
You want the ladies to be the light. And I don't think there's any place better than to close things off. Ladies, Her in a Million is here to show you the light. And part of that light is highlighting stories such as Paradis. Paradis, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. You are indeed one of the Her in a Million champions. And listen, I've already kicked down the door for you all. Paradis is ready to be a mentor to someone who's daring enough. So ladies, be daring enough, and be daring enough to also catch the next episode of Her in a Million, Mic for Her. Catch you next time.